there, hopefully showing the excavator feeding the screener, skid steer feeding a little bit, skid steer taken away. We basically, if you look off to the side here, we got somewhere between probably 3.5, maybe even 4 dump truck loads of material. We're looking at maybe an hour and 15 minutes of steady screening. You know, there's lots of different screening plants out there, and obviously, I mean, this material's pretty dry right now. It's quite dry, but it is completely full of trash. It has tons of organics. If you look off to the left over there, you can look at the face of that pile and you can just see how much organic trash is in there. And the reason that I mentioned that is, as you're watching this video, you'll see this feed deflector open up and the deck stand up a little bit more. And that's by design. If that feeder didn't open up and if the deck wouldn't stand up some more, you would never get that material to go through there with that much organics mixed in with it. So like while I was sitting there with the hoe, I would feed it, and if it got plugged up, I'd force the feeder open, let the stuff travel through. The stuff that was on the front that I was refeeding, I just left the feeder open and I just scooped the material up, throw it back through a couple times, breaks the material up, aerates it, and basically it allows us to get everything out of the soil that we can. But the thing is we got the production. It's pretty bad material. Even if this material was wet or wetter than it is, then I would just leave the feeder open and I would just sit there and feed this machine on a steeper deck. And with that steeper deck, you're still screening when you probably would never get that through a 22-degree deck. The other thing is, you'll hear people in the industry talk about a single deck and a double deck. And there's a company out there right now that they're promoting their machine as a double deck. Well, a double deck screener should make you 3 products if it's a true double deck. If they're calling it a double deck and you're still only getting 2 products, what's in the box and what's off the front, that's not really a double deck screener. All they've done is protect their lower deck with a coarse mesh on the upper deck. All that product's still going out the same side as far as the overs. So in my estimation, we like to stay with a single deck machine simply because it's easy to clean the mesh, it's easy to change the mesh, and if you've got a stick or a rock, if you only have 1 deck, it's much easier to get that out of there and keep the flow going. When you've got a double deck, your finer mesh always sits underneath, and it's always difficult to try and get up there and clean it. The other thing with our machine, you have really good vision. If you're on the skid steer feeding it, you can see the entire underside of that screen deck while you're screening. So you can tell if you want to pull the screen deck back a little bit more and hold that material there. You can tell if you want to push the feed deflector open and stand it up and get that material to flow through. If you've got a deck on a 22-degree slope, and if you've got sides where the deck is narrower than your bucket, so you wing out the sides, you have no idea, you cannot see a thing on that screen deck. And we took that into account when we were designing these machines, because visibility, in my estimation, is really important. You got to be able to see what you're doing, especially if you're screening in challenging materials. So anyways, great day today out playing around here in the dirt. This spot right here is where we started with our very first screening machines doing our testing back, 2012. So it's kind of cool that we kind of came full circle and got back down here today where we started our beginnings, and taken all the ideas that we've gathered over the years into this new machine, this new 78, and we're out making it happen. So it's pretty cool. Anyways, thanks very much for taking the time to watch the videos. Hope we were able to share a little bit of information that will be helpful.